Rivercity Pilates, and with me today is Shelly. As a Pilates instructor, I see a lot of people who come to Pilates because they have back pain. The Pilates method is so great for these people because it really teaches our body how to create more core strength. It creates balance in the body, and many times people can find relief from that back pain with a regular Pilates practice. So today what I wanted to show you is just a few of my favorite things that I like to give clients to do at home, because the big thing is kind of that consistency and being able to kind of add Pilates into your life on a regular basis. So it's nice to have some things that you can do at home. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to have a few props. I have here a foam roller, which is a nice, love this for an at-home prop. And then also a TheraBand, which is just like a little exercise band you can get just about anywhere, just kind of a medium strength. So we are going to get started. What I'm going to have Shelly do to get started is we're going to lay on the foam roller. So getting on the foam roller, you kind of want to sit your tail at one end of the foam roller and close enough to the end that when you roll back, your head is supported on the roller as well. And so first thing we're doing is we're just starting there, we're just going to breathe. So we're just going to let ourselves kind of settle onto the roller. We're going to take that big Pilates breath as you inhale, breathing in through your nose and expanding your rib cage in all directions. And as you exhale, forcing out that breath and feeling your abdominals pull up and in. And as you're there taking that breath, just letting yourself kind of melt over the roller almost. You'll feel it kind of sink in between your shoulder blades. It often feels really good. This is great for all of us that sit a lot at a computer or a desk with those nice tight scrunched shoulders. So we're going to take it into a little movement. I'm going to have Shelly just lengthen her arms. She's going to keep her abdominals engaged, which really helps you balance on there. So there's core work going on all the time just to balance on your roller. And what she's going to do is take that inhale, and she's going to lift her arms, keep her abdominals engaged, and then just open them up and circle them around. And then we'll do that again. We'll take about 5 in each direction. Big inhale as you lift up, and then that exhale, forcing that breath out, feeling that deep abdominal work. You can kind of feel your shoulder blades wrap around that roller. It's almost like getting a little mini massage in that back. Coordinating our breath with our movement, inhaling up, and then that exhale to come around. Let's do one more in that direction. And just that reaching long, and then she's just going to reverse directions. We'll take palms up to the ceiling and reach out, a little circle up top, pressing the arms down long. And you're just being aware that when those arms start to go overhead, that you don't want to scrunch your shoulders up. You have that little bit of work to keep your arm connected in your shoulder joint. Good. And that continual work to pull our belly up and in and really just maintain our balance on there. Nice full breath, and that coordinating our breath and movement. We're going to take one more on there. We'll inhale, reach, and then exhale. We're going to just take our hands and just press them into the mat. Palms could press in, maybe the elbows if you can get them on the mat. And we're going to do a little knee fold here. So this is going to be all about stability on that roller. So we're trying to keep our hips and spine stable. As she inhales, she's going to bring her right knee in toward her chest. And then as she exhales, she's going to press it down, and then she's going to switch sides, trying to stay as still as you can on the roller. It is really challenging. You might move a little bit on there, but that's that work to pull your abdominals up and in and try to stay centered. Great for our balance. And that pressing down. Good. And that inhale, you can imagine you're pulling your leg in through mud and then pressing it back down to the mat. So you kind of create a little resistance. And those nice controlled movements that we do on Pilates. Let's do one more on there. And back down. Nice. So we're going to have Shelly come off to the side of her roller. Just kind of push it out from underneath of her. And then we're going to turn it that long way. She's going to put like her mid-upper back on there. And the exact position on this can be different. You can take it a little lower, take it a little higher, depending on you. Feet and knees together, and her tailbone's kind of nice and heavy on the mat. She's going to support her head and really cup behind the bottom of the skull. Almost gently pull the head away, so you create a little traction through the neck. As she inhales, she's going to start to roll back over the roller, just going to what feels good on her body. And And then as you exhale, you tuck your chin, tuck your pelvis, and curl forward. So we kind of have this full spine movement. As you inhale, you gently push your tailbone away and just make sure your abdominals are supporting you. And then as you exhale, you're curling to come back up. And we can do like 5 of those. If you feel like you want to move your spot on the roller, you could always move it a little lower, a little higher on there. Good, let's take 2 more on there. That lengthening on the way back, and then that curl to come back forward. Wonderful, one last one. And then here, we're gonna keep just a little bit of that curl. Shelley's gonna lift her hips, and I like the feet maybe just a little wider as we do this. And we're just gonna roll our back out a little bit. So you can still support your head. And then you're just gonna roll through your upper back. And you can kind of play around with this a little bit. There's not an exact right or wrong. Sometimes I like to shift over onto one side. You might be able to roll up into the tops of the shoulders up here. And just you're gonna find there's some spots that kind of feel like they need to be rolled or it feels good. And that's really what we want. We're just kind of opening everything up in that upper back, neck. And really you can do that as long as you want. For today, we're going to have Shelley come back to the mat, and I'm going to have you roll your neck out a little bit too, Shelley. So go ahead and just lay all the way back. This one often feels really good as well. And really just having that roller kind of at the crook of your neck there. And then, again, you're going to kind of play a little bit and maybe just turn your head side to side. Sometimes I like to do little sideways figure 8s with the tip of my nose. And you're really just gently pushing the back of the skull and the neck into the roller. Again, kind of feels like a nice little mini massage, a little release. Good for like that place where we tend to hold a lot of tension. Good. Yes. And then we're going to have Shelley just lift her head, take that out. You can just lay right back where you're at, Jules. And we're going to use this roller one more time. So Shelley's going to bend her legs and have it underneath of her, and then she's going to pull the roller up under her hips so that she's really resting her hip bones. And the feet are still on the mat. I'm going to seat down. And this can be a nice place just to kind of hang out for a moment and let your tailbone be nice and heavy and kind of lengthens out the low back. The exercise we're going to do today is we're going to take the right leg, and she's going to bend the knee in toward her chest, straighten the legs, flex her foot, and then slowly lower that leg away, keeping her abdominals pulled up and in that whole time. And then she'll just drag it back in, extend it, flex, and just slowly reach down. Thinking about just creating length through that leg, through that whole side waist of her body, keeping that abdominal support that whole time. And we'll take 5 on each leg of these. You can use that inhale to come in, and then that strong exhale, engaging deep abdominal muscles as you come back down. Let's do one more there. And on the last one, she's just going to take an extra little stretch. She's going to just let the leg hang out there, and you can really just let go, let gravity pull that leg toward the mat. If you want a little bit more of a stretch, you could take the other leg and pull it in towards you at the same time. And take a few breaths there. And you could really hang out here as long as felt good. It's actually a great stretch, opening the front of that hip. When you're ready, Shelley, we're going to have you bring that foot back down to the mat. Slide this one back in. And let's do that whole little sequence on the other side. So we'll take our left knee, draw it in toward our chest, straighten the leg, flex your foot, and slowly lengthen the leg back down. When it touches the mat, drag it back in. The lower that leg goes from your center, the more you're going to work to pull your abdominals in to give yourself that support system as you lower that leg. And don't feel like you have to pull the leg way back towards you. Just take it to where it's easy for you to straighten and lengthen that leg, and then come back down. We'll take 2 more on there. And just creating that length through the leg. This leg, your standing leg, is working a little bit. You'll feel a little work to kind of stabilize through there. Good. And this one, she just gets to leave that leg and just let it rest and hang out a little bit. Completely let go and just let gravity pull that leg down. If she wants, she can pull this leg in as well to give a little more stretch. I'm just taking a few breaths there and getting that nice stretch. Again, if you're at home, you can hang out there as long as you would like. When you're ready, Shelly, we're going to have you bring that foot back to the mat. Bend your other leg in. Just do a little curl of the hips up. Push the roller out from underneath and roll yourself all the way down to the mat. We're going to slide that up from underneath and leave you there as we do a little bit of our bridging. We're going to press those feet in, press those arms in, and we're going to start off with a little pelvic rock first and then go into that bridging. So as you inhale, you're going to tilt your pelvis back towards you, just lengthen out your low back. As you exhale, you're going to tip the pelvis away from you and create a little space in your low back. Good, and we're just going to rock back and forth there. Inhale as you pull the belly in, tip the hips back. Exhale as you tip the pelvis away from you and create length. And we'll take 3 more there. So about 5 of those is nice. Feels nice on the low back to get that stretch and kind of lengthen everything out in that movement as well. We'll take 2 more there. And Shelley's just got her feet about hip width apart on those. And then that extend and press. We'll take one last one. Inhaling into that pelvic tilt. And then exhale as she releases. Then we're going to take that into a shoulder bridge. She's going to press her arms in. She's going to start with that pelvic tuck and then continue to lift her hips as she rolls up through the spine. Exhale, she's going to roll back down through that upper back, mid, low back, and just release her hips at that end range. And again, we'll do about 5 of those. Coordinating that breath with your movement, inhaling all the way up, and then that exhale. And that deep exhale helps us pull our belly in and engage those deep abdominal muscles to help us roll and move through our spine. Those feet are pressing in nice and even to the mat. And just that nice balanced movement through our back. Good. Let's take 1 more there. Nice full inhale as she lifts up, and then as she exhales, rolling down through her back, releasing her hips in that end range. So I'm going to have Shelly come up to sitting next. You can grab a leg or curl up however is comfortable. We're going to use our TheraBand next. We're going to do a little half roll back. So we're going to take the TheraBand around the feet and just bend the legs in there, Shelly. So kind of almost dig your heels in. And we're holding there, and you can kind of choke up as much as you feel like you need. We're going to just curl halfway back. So it starts with that little pelvic tuck that we did just a second ago. And we curl down just to that place where you can really keep your heels anchored. And then exhale around forward, pulling the abdominals in and getting kind of that nice spine stretch as you curl forward. Inhale, little pelvic tuck, curl down those heels, kind of digging into the mat. And then as you exhale, curling forward. Good. So you can stick with this. If you feel like you can take it all the way to the mat, you can continue on. You can inhale for half, really press those heels in and roll all the way down to the mat. And then you could come back up, trying to curl your spine forward. And again, taking that spine stretch as you come forward. Legs bent is great. If you feel like you can straighten the legs, that's fine as well. You can really press and reach into that band to roll down. Inhale for about half, exhale that spine stretch forward, and then that rolling down to the mat. Well, we're going to have Shelly just stay there. What I'm going to have her do is just take the left leg out of the band, leave the right one in there, and we're going to take that right leg up to the ceiling, and we're just going to take some stretches here. So I like elbows down on the mat just from a support system. If you feel like you need to choke up more on the strap, you could. We're just going to stretch up the back of the leg. So this feel of like reaching your heel up, sinking your right hip into the mat, and really just finding where that feels like a good stretch in your body. As we're doing this and just holding this stretch, you want to really pull your abdominals up and in. You might even feel that lengthen and stretch out a little bit through the low back. And you're letting that band do some of the work of having to hold your leg up so that you can find that stretch. 5, 6 breaths are a nice place to hold that stretch. You could really hold it for as long as feels good for you. We're going to have Shelly do one more stretch in here. She's going to take both straps into her left hand, and then she's going to just gently reach the leg across. And it can be in line with the hip. It could be like a little more out this way, until she feels a nice stretch through that outer leg and hip. If you want to lift the hip, you can lift the hip, and that'll give you a little twist through the low back. Nice to keep that right shoulder down. Again, this is just kind of playing around and finding what feels good in your body. You can really use that band to adjust. And again, you could hold this stretch for as long as feels good to you. A nice 5 or 6 breaths at a minimum. And when you're ready to come back, just be aware that you're going to keep your abdominals pulled up and in and gently bring that leg back to your center. And we're going to have Shelly switch out legs, and we'll just do those on the other side. Okay. She's just gently pulling the leg in. Now, if this feels a little much with both legs straight, you could also bend this standing leg. We'll still feel like a stretch at the back of that left leg, or whatever leg you have up. And we're just starting and just holding there and stretching. So a nice place to just let your shoulders roll back, lengthen your neck, and just have that feel of kind of pushing your heel gently up as your hip sinks down into the mat. And again, 5, 6 breaths, longer if you feel like it, if you have the time today. Good. Let's take one more breath on there. And then we're going to show that reach across as well. So this leg could stay bent or straighten it out, and then you could pull the leg across. And you can either leave your hip down or you can take it a little further and let the hip lift up. Sometimes I like that opposite arm just to stretch out to the side. Gives you a little sense of anchoring that shoulder down. And just finding, again, what feels good in your body. Make sure you keep your abdominals engaged and up and in. Gives us that little support system that whole time. Okay. I'm just going to have Shelly take one more breath on there. Nice big inhale. As she exhales, drawing your belly up and in and just bringing that leg back to center. Good, Shelly. I'm going to have you come up to sitting so you can push into there and roll up. And then we're going to end with a little bit of our spine stretch. So we're going to take the band off. We're going to use the roller to sit on. Just kind of a nice place to really find our tall spine and sit nice and tall. Especially if your hamstrings are tight, sitting up on something like the roller is a really nice option. And the feet can go nice and wide. I may even take them like a little bit wider on there. And we're just going to reach arms out in front of us, sit nice and tall like you're sitting up against a wall. Take a big inhale, and then as you exhale, you're going to curl forward through your neck, upper back, mid-back, stretching the spine. And then as you inhale, you can stack up and think low back, mid-back, upper back, and head. Good, and then we'll do that again. Traditional breathing, kind of that exhale as you curl forward. On that last little bit, you take an extra little exhale and pull your belly in a little more to get a little bit more out of it. And then rolling back up, we draw our belly up and in. Take a big inhale that fills us up, lifts us tall. And then exhale to curl. You can always take extra breath. And keep breathing, be aware of it. Use it to help you engage your abdominals. And this is a great stretch of our spine. Can be a great stretch through the backs of those legs. Nice full inhale, stacking up tall. Let's do one last one and we'll just show a little stretch at the end. So a few options here. If you feel like you could bend the knees, or even with straight legs, like reach and like grab your toes, or even you could grab your legs if you wanted, and then feel like you're holding on there, pulling your belly back into your spine. So you really get this nice stretch to your back and even through the backs of the legs. Kind of really feeling that spine stretch. Maybe you feel your neck stretch out as you kind of let it hang forward a little bit. And you could hold that as long as it feels good for you. When you're ready to come up, just let go with the arms, kind of reconnect those shoulders and roll back up. Big inhale, shoulders roll down and back, and just sit nice and tall. Good. So that's the end of our little sequence today. Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to check out our website at www.rivercitypilates.com to find more YouTube videos, blogs,